Georgia, education is it's important to have it's important for IDPs to have free accessibility of free education because it's quite big thing to study at university in Georgia. Now Salome will go.
So we met these people and we went to their houses and they live in real terrible housing conditions. There are sometimes 7 or 8 persons in one room. They don't have natural gas, they don't have electricity sometimes, but they can't pay it, and their total income monthly sometimes is not enough for even one bread a day. So we have discussed about how to help these people. There have been already created so many organizations and associations to help these people, and they provided them with product, with money, but it was short-term projects. So after our discussion, we decided to create and to establish long-term project and to find jobs for these people, to train them in our center, career development and job recruitment center. We have already place and we have already building for this center, and we have our trainers too. We will pay for these trainers with sponsorship from our government, and we had the meetings to our government too and other NGOs and governmental organizations. So we want to pay for from our grant to pay for trainers. We have already decided how to pay and use the winning grant, and we will buy computers, printers, stationery, and we will print guidebooks for these people because they have not computers, they have not internet, and they can't find even vacancies. They don't know how to find jobs, and most of them have high education, they have graduated universities, but they can't find jobs. So we will train them in our center and teach them how to find jobs, and we will teach them the programs too. Our slogan is that give man fish and you feed him for a day, and teach man how to fish, you feed him for a lifetime.
By this, we want to mention that this is a long-term project, and by giving money or food, this is only short-term. This is once or twice, and after that, they face the same problems. So, in the center, the IDP will be able to get qualification and get more skilled. We will have 2 kinds of trainings. One will be trainings in writing CVs, filling how to fill applications. Also, career fairs, they will find the contacts, networking, and the second trainings will be in specific fields. This might be, for example, they study how to work in internet, computer, and so on. And what's the most important, that we will be mediator between IDPs and governmental and non-governmental sections and organizations. So we will know what vacancies these organizations have, and try to get the qualifications for IDPs in this for these vacancies, so they will get their job, and what's most important, that they will be integrated in society, because nowadays because of their problems they stand out apart from society, and we think that this center will help them really, and this is the actual problem in our country, because in our neighborhood we face to this problem everywhere.
So we hope that this will be the long-term project, and we will make all attempts to involve more and more volunteers in our project and other governmental and non-governmental organizations. And our goal to make these people integrated and make them respected members of our society. Thanks for attention.
Great, thank you very much. So we have just about 9 minutes remaining for questions. Judges?
Great. Well, thank you very much, and I'm glad that we were able to hear you this afternoon. I think you gave a very impressive presentation, so congratulations for getting this far in the competition. I mean, the problem of IDPs in Georgia is well known, and you said it there, and it's one of the major problems facing Georgian society, and I would certainly agree with that. Is just a question because maybe I didn't understand. Does the center already exist and you're looking for some money to kind of improve its operations, or will you be setting it up in the future?
If we win the grant, this will be the basement money to create this center. We have not center which exists. We have only the place and building where will be created this center. So we want to pay any money in other center to hire any buildings.
Okay, I see. I understand. Do you, just another question, do you envision a role for the people who, the IDPs who use your program and then succeed and get a job, and do you see using them as maybe a community that can then come back and help the other? Is that something you've thought about?
If anyone had already helped them?
No, in other words, if say an IDP participates in your program and becomes successful, gets a job, etc., do you envision staying in touch with those people so that maybe they could help you,
Of course, they will help us. We did a research and they are capable of working, they wish to work. So after starting this project, they will be able to be in touch with us and get involved in all the projects. And after that, they will find work. We will have contact with them, and maybe the who will have, of course, wish will come back to our center because they know their problems very well, more better than we, for example. So they will be involved in this center, of course.
But they were disappointed so many times because there were created so many organizations, but they did not get any real help. And we hope that the IDPs who will be already trained and will get jobs, they will help other IDPs too.
Thank you.
Two questions for you. I think one of the things that we've seen when we have worked with projects that are similar to this is that sometimes you can train people, but there are no jobs. So the first question I would have is, if you are successful in delivering the training that you're proposing, is there a positive outcome? Are there enough jobs to fill with these people?
Of course there will be, because we have many contacts. The organizations with whom we are working have many contacts with non-governmental and governmental sections, and we already know that there will be vacancies, enough vacancies for these people. Maybe this will not be managers of some kind, but assistants with a qualification.
Of course, firstly we find vacancies and before training them, but they have some qualifications and most of them have graduated universities. So this won't be a problem, and firstly we find works, jobs, vacancies, and then train them for exact vacancies.
I have a few other quick questions for you. How many IDPs do you propose in the first year to train?
We have met some compact settlements. Not only there are approximately 250,000 IDPs, but firstly, this program will involve some compact settlements, members of these settlements, and they live in buildings such as school, kindergarten, school, and then we will lights our project.
So are we talking about?
Well, about 1,000 at first time, about 1,000 people.
1,000 people in the first year?
For the first year, yeah.
Okay. A follow-up to that is, how will you select the trainers?
The trainers will be selected by interviews. By interviews, and they will get known to our project, what we are going to do, also the problems of IDPs. This will be people who know the problems and also who know how to work with these people. And we have trainers already, so government will provide money for them to finance, and they will have also the trainings, these trainers too, before working with the IDPs.
And there are so many volunteers too from other organizations whose projects were not so successful to start in creating this center.
Last question for me from now. How did you guys meet, and what will be your roles in the project?
Our roles will be founders, and we see these IDPs everywhere in our, for example, neighborhoods, in our relations. So these problems, all of Georgians know about these problems. So
We are volunteers, and we met about 2 months ago, years we are just friends, and we just want if we can get grants, we want to involve in this project more volunteers, and we want to give an example of our government how to employ IDPs and how to solve their problems.
So you met 2 months ago, and do you have any idea of what specifically each of you will be doing in the leadership, or is that not figured out yet?
Yes, we are volunteers, and we'll after getting the grant, we will have our own duties. Someone, for example, maybe we have not specific before we don't know. Maybe we will not get grant. So after that, we will have, for example, I will be get involved to inform IDPs. Someone will, for example, Salome will be working with organizations to find vacancies, and Natagi will be working with the trainers and try to get involved the IDPs.
So I'll say exactly where we met. So there are other projects in Georgia, such as where involved youth, such as youth parliaments and so on. And all of us are participants of other projects. So we met there and then decided to get this idea in reality, to make it reality.
Actually, you guys have asked all the questions that I have.
I have a couple things.
Sorry. Go on.
Steve, do you have any?
But what, I mean, do you think that, what's the biggest, we'll put it this way, what do you think the biggest challenges you'll face might be? I mean, maybe it's more than just giving people access to a job and training. Are there some also social kind of integration problems
social
that
problems,
are
and
bigger than that?
they have disappointments too, and our main goal is to make these people integrated in our society, and now they don't even hope, they are disappointed. So I want them to get realized and to get respected members. So
Okay.
we'll add something.
2 more quick questions. We have about 1 minute left. So you have many IDPs. You're going to look to train 1,000 in the first year. How will you select the IDPs who are fortunate enough to become part of your program?
As we said, we will involve them. So we have already done research. So we have information about when we are working. We did research. We had applications. They filled these applications, and we will choose the IDPs from our list. If it can be said, because we have already information about them, how old they are, what educations they have already, what, for example, trainings they have done, and so on. We have already the information about these people.
What vacancies will be offered, and what qualifications will IDPs have?
Okay. Last question. What partnerships are important to the success of your organization, and can you speak a little bit about your relationship with Youth for Democracy?
The organization, can you repeat the question?
Sure. What partnerships are important to your success? And I think that if you look at the action plan, it's called Youth for Democracy. There's an organization called Youth for Democracy that you speak about in the action plan. Can you describe your relationship with them? What is it that you're
with
doing?
Other organizations, yeah?
Youth for Democracy and any other partners that you need.
We will have partnership with our government. And we already had meetings to them, and we presented this project to them too. And they are also interested, and they decided to also to sponsor this project.